Good morning. It's now time for our cooking segment. We're live from Kelly's Furniture and Carpet One in the kitchen with Paul Minicucci, and I feel like we should just go like that because you're Italian.
Exactly.
You are from the Fairfield Arts and Convention Center, and
Right.
Today you are going to show us how to make a creamy onion soup, which smells delicious.
Basically, it's Julia Child's soup. And I put a few other pieces into it, like cream.
Okay.
But basically, it's the same recipe she uses.
Perfect.
I want to say before I do this that you'll notice on your website that if people don't come to our next show at the Fairfield Center, they won't be able to get the recipe. So you need to show up at
Which we are giving away tickets in a contest starting next week, so we'll have you on that.
Make sure you do
in just
that.
a little
Please
bit.
come to Fairfield and join us at the Sondheim Theater. Now, what we're going to do here today is do what's called gratinee, and that is, of course, French for melted cheese.
Okay.
And the way you do this is you have to make the soup first.
Okay.
And then when it's ready and done, you could actually eat it this way.
Okay.
After that, we put cheese and what's known as croûtes. We'll show you how to make the croûtes.
Okay.
I can't do every step along the way. Now,
Right.
the one thing I will tell people before they do this is please be patient, because Chef Gordon Ramsay says you have to saute the onions for 4 hours.
Oh, wow.
I didn't quite do that,
Okay.
but I do about 50 minutes on each of 2 stages. And so
wow.
let me start. The first thing I want to do is show people how Julia Childs will tell you cut an onion. Okay. So I have a yellow onion, and I have cut it in half. Now, first thing you want to do from the core is to take out that side and that side, and then using your fingers as a guide. Don't let your hand go there because you'll get it cut off, and then you just cut. Slice them thin. You do not want these to be in little grated form or chopped form. You want it to be as long cuts as possible.
Okay.
And so now, when these are ready to go, you take a large frying pan with a lid, and you will fry these, saute these at a very low temperature for about 45 minutes in a couple of ounces of butter and oil. When that's done, it will look something like this. And I actually did what I tell people not to do. Don't burn the onions, but it's sort of yellow. The next step of this would be to brown it further by using some more butter and a little roux. Now, roux is a French word for butter and melted in flour. And so what you want to do is do maybe a stick of butter, 4 ounces to 8 ounces of butter, and a cup of flour to start. You mix that up. You can do that in microwave if you want. Okay, so once that's done, you saute these at a medium-high temperature for another 40 minutes. You have to stir them constantly. You do not want them to burn. When you burn an onion, it gets very bitter. So the secret to this is patience.
Okay.
All right, so once that's done, you'll end up with a pan of soup like this. And what we do then is to make the soup. After we put this in here, and you will add, of course, stock. Now, I made homemade stock for this. And there's on the recipe, I gave you a little recipe of how to make homemade stock. But if you want, you can buy these products right here, I recommend. Really good stock is best. Don't try to buy the cheap stuff. Sorry, folks, but that's the truth. At your store, your specialty store, you might find this bouillon paste. And that's actually very good too. It gives it a bigger flavor. But if you can, use real homemade stock.
All right.
So once the soup is going, you put the spices in, which includes bay leaf, as you can see. It includes nutmeg, and wine, and a little cognac. And you continue to cook this at a very low temperature. Again, try not to burn it. You have to stir it constantly. And it becomes soup after about 30 minutes of that.
Okay.
So now we're going to stop and go to the gratinee process.
Okay.
So once you have the soup in this form, you have a terrine. You'll see it when we come back, what I'm talking about. Of course, a terrine is a dish that's thick, so they'll hold the soup. And you want to make what are called in French croûtes, which is like a crouton, except it's made out of bread.
Okay.
So you take this is Italian bread because I didn't have any fresh French. Either way, you can use it. And you want to cut 1-inch slices,
Okay.
like that, 3/4 to an inch to an inch. And then you take a cookie dish, and you'll place them in the cookie dish, and you will drizzle a little bit of olive oil on them, and you put them in the broiler for 5 to 6 minutes. Now make sure they don't burn.
Right.
This is going to be my mantra for
Okay.
today. So put these in the broiler. When they're done, you will pour the soup into the tureen.
And then
You'll
put those.
Yeah, next step, before you put those on top, with Julia Child's big tip is you take a fresh onion and you will grate it right into the soup.
Ooh.
Just a little bit, a little slice. I'll use the slice side of this.
All right.
So that, very fine slice, as you can see. So that's what those look like.
Okay.
You don't want to put too much in because it'll overpower it, but
All
this
right.
makes it pop, gives it a little bit of a fresh, pungent taste.
So what we'll do is when we come back, we'll show the final product
Right.
and the final steps, and then we
Right.
get to try it because that's the best part, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so and welcome back. If you're just joining us, we're live at Kelly's Furniture and Carpet One with Paul Minicucci from the Fairfield Arts and Convention Center, and he just showed us how to make creamy onion soup, which is a twist to Julia Child's French onion soup, correct?
Right. So you get no soup because you brought too much coal. Here's what it looks like, folks, when
That's
it's done. And you can
amazing.
say it's just really, just taste buds just
Looks
start
good, huh?
tingling.
Yes.
So what you do when you do this is you scoop it out like that.
Make sure everybody gets a little piece of bread at least.
Right. You can put that on top if you want.
Okay.
You can add more of the cheese. Now, how we made this all crusty and drippy like that is by putting in Gruyere or Emmentaler cheese. And I urge you not to use domestic Swiss in this thing. Use the real deal. It's at your Hy-Vee. I checked, and so
Thank you.
you can put it on here, and then it goes under the broiler, and that's how it gets done.
And you said when making this, you need to be very, very patient because
Yes.
there are steps that take a little longer than other steps.
Right. Not only do they take time, they take care. You have to continuously
Right.
stir everything.
Well, I'm excited to try this.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Wow.
I can tell. It's smoking, isn't it?
Wow, that is amazing. Oh,
It's
delicious.
very good. It's actually very sweet, folks, and it's really good for tailgating and
Especially
cold
with
weather
the
picnics.
Colder weather, yes. So what we'll do is we'll post the recipe on our website at heartlandconnection.com. Thank you so much, Paul, for coming on.
Right. You're welcome. Thank you.
And you can find the recipe on the top of the homepage. Just click on Good Morning Heartland. We hope you have a fabulous weekend. Stay safe out there with all the snow, and we'll see you right back here on Monday morning at 5:30 a.m.
Bye-bye.